you. I forgot about that. Any public comments? I don't see anyone from the public here. So we will move on. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
All right, motion.
Hamilton moves.
All right, second by Hamilton. I'm going to give that to Leichman first. Any discussion? See none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, motion passes. So we are here to talk about the criminal justice coordinator onboarding. Kim had some ideas, and she and I talked by email briefly, but I thought it was important to get the committee's feedback on this as well. So I will hand it over to Kim, and then we will open it up for discussion. Kim?
All right, thank you very much. So some of the ideas that I had that I shared with Chairman Fisher are to create an onboarding schedule for Janelle, specifically to allow her the opportunity to have scheduled meetings with the departments and the stakeholders that she's going to be working closely with. So a few of the ideas that I had were scheduled meeting with the judges, maybe with the DA, victim witness, Human Services, Sheriff's Department. So a lot of those key players that she'll be working with and collaborating with as she moves this department forward. I did something similar for Al Thurber when he started in the finance director position. I think it was helpful just to get him in front of other department heads that he's going to be working closely with, and having kind of a schedule for that when she first starts and having those meetings pre-planned, I think is beneficial.
So when would there be an introduction to the county board?
Did you hear that, Kim?
I did. So she starts in October 26th. So I don't know that there's an ability for us to do anything then until the November county board meeting.
Oh, well, I agree with that. I agree with that. That's the same way we did with that, that department too. So, okay, and we'll do the same for the committee. The November meeting of the committee.
I mean, the next judicial meeting would be the 6th of November, right?
Yeah.
First Friday. So she would be able to attend that meeting, is my guess.
Okay. And does this committee want to meet sometime in her first week to have a meeting with her about expectations for the role and the role of the committee in her position?
I think it would be good to have that, conversation. So yes, I think so. What does the committee feel? How does the committee feel?
Yes.
So you said her first day would be Monday the 26th, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is there any meetings that she should be having, or you feel she should be having, that Kim did not discuss? I mean, she mentioned most of the shareholders internally, but is there any other feedback you'd like to give?
And Kim, you said you'd be laying out that schedule.
I can if the committee would like me to, yes.
Do you need a motion?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to that effect then. Set
All right.
up a schedule for.
All right, a motion by Clendenning to set up a schedule and have direct Kim to do that. Is there a second?
Yeah.
A second by Leichman. All right, we got a second, and we got a motion and a second. Discussion.
Second.
When is that going to be?
Right now, there's no time frame to that. So
it may be good for her to meet with the committee first, so she's got an idea of what they want her to work on before she goes and talks to all the stakeholders. So
I personally see a lot of wisdom in that. And I was wondering about that, Kim. Is there a way to have the committee meet that much? I don't know. How does this usually go when she starts? I'm assuming there's some interaction with human resources in the first few hours of the day. Is that correct?
That is correct. Orientation starts at 8:15 every Monday morning. It typically ends somewhere around 10:30, 11 o'clock, dependent on how large the group is. So if the committee would be amenable to meeting maybe at 1 o'clock that day, I think that would give her enough time to get through orientation, get to her desk, have lunch, and then meet the committee at 1.
Yeah, I see a lot of wisdom in that, having the committee meet at 1 o'clock after her orientation. And then after that, possibly, as Kim suggested, scheduling those meetings with stakeholders in the county. I guess my only question is, are there any stakeholders? I mean, the stakeholders that Kim mentioned are mainly departments in the county, but are there people in the community that we feel she should be meeting with? That we would like to
At some
suggest?
time, envisioning this position, like the folks representing the Chamber of Commerce, I think would be important. That jumps out at me after we do kind of the inner circle, folks like our committee and then the stakeholders that have been identified, but I think that we should really think beyond that, on what we wanna really make of this position and the contacts that even she brought up, the notes that we took from the interview. I think we should, bring those up because she's already kind of done that already, down in Sauk County. So, but I think the internal stuff would be probably the first couple weeks,
I think it would, one thing I think is, an organization like the Oxford House down here, Mary's Place up on the north end, just even getting the sense for some of the housing, for people coming out of jail who maybe are struggling with addictions, to see even where they live might be a good idea. And just have her have some interactions with maybe some of the other nonprofit entities on both ends of the county. I could see being beneficial. What I don't want to do is get too far in the weeds and schedule out her entire month. I think she's going to be a go-getter, but at the same time giving her some direction of maybe things that we see as value, that she might be able to get some value out of some of these meetings. Thoughts?
I have one question, if I may.
Yeah.
So, Kim, with respect to this onboarding schedule and in coordinating these meetings, when you are setting these up with each of the respective, like with the judges or with the district attorney's office, how will you look to deliver to them? Do you have certain expectations about topics that will be covered over the course of those meetings? And I ask that question because perhaps that will help with community stakeholders or partners for us to be able to, identify and help to build that list. And so will those be the sorts of things that might come up in the course of conversation, with some of the meetings that will be scheduled over the course of the first couple of weeks?
So the premise for the meetings are typically an introductory meeting. So the only guidelines that I really provide to those individuals are to just, kind of give an overview of what their department and maybe subgroup is responsible for, what some of their goals are, what are some of the challenges that they're facing in terms of how they see this position fitting in and being able to help with some of those things. It's more a high level overview of the responsibilities of the department and then the challenges that they're facing that this position could essentially assist with.
Thank you for that, because I think that gives us a broad baseline to have an understanding of where we're coming from with respect to those meetings. So thank you.
All right.
Sure.
You had some?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a meeting that she should do in the first week. Cause she's really not gonna have a lot of direction. I mean, I think she clearly needs to have some time to put together some thoughts and, just going to say hi, hello, they see me in the hall, I'm the criminal justice coordinator. I think that's a waste of people's time. Quite frankly, I think the meeting should have more substance.
Okay. Bill?
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about that too, and with these meetings with the judges and the DA and victim witness and sheriff's department and human services, I would think in a couple of those key areas, I'm thinking sheriff and human services, that I know the judges said, and I've heard the sheriff say, that we want programmatic change. So I think some of those meetings could be a half a day where you say, this is what we've done, this is where we've done it, And this is what we'd like to evolve to over time. I mean, I could see a presentation by that department head from that agency that leads us onward to where we want to go. I see these meetings as quite extensive. Maybe judges couldn't give you half a day, but that was what Judge Brazo said to me. So go ahead and change things.
Okay, Brent, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking, we hired someone that has done this before, right? We haven't done it before. Maybe before we plan out her first month of work, we should find out what the heck she thinks might work. And I've heard county board members say we hire good people and we have them do the job. Maybe we should ask her what would be, maybe she learned in Sauk County or Marquette County, both counties, that, doing things the way we're suggesting here isn't the best. Just my thought. I would like to hear maybe the person's ideas first.
Bill?
So I think that's why you go through these initial set of meetings, to meet the people, to look at the locations. She's a go-getter. She'll sit and do hours and hours of work probably at home, looking at things, but then she's gonna wonder. I mean, if I was doing the job, I would.
I'm gonna add this. I actually think having these meetings with what I'm gonna call internal stakeholders is very valuable. I can understand the comment, if it's just introductory, it's a waste of time. But the reality is, if she doesn't make the introduction, at some point she's gonna have to. And I don't know why you would wait. So even if I only have 5 minutes to 10 minutes with a judge to introduce myself, I want those 5-10 minutes to be able to put a face with a name, build an initial rapport, so that when I go back, there's at least hopefully an initial positive experience that I can build off of. So
I wouldn't call it a meeting then.
and you can call it what you want. I quite frankly, I don't care what we call it. I just think at the end of the day, we need to have the stakeholders be introduced to our criminal justice coordinator, and we want to set her up for success. And so again, whether that's 5 minutes, whether that's 30 minutes, and maybe I come with a different feeling because I've spent most of my life in sales, but whether I have 5 minutes or 50 minutes with someone, I'm going to take advantage of it to build rapport so that I can make that sale. And so I see value in it. So again, I think a smart person who's going to walk into a room, if I have a captive audience, I'm going to pick up on the fact that I have a captive audience, and I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'll take all 45 minutes if they're going to give me 45 minutes. If I got 5 minutes, I'm going to pick up on the fact I only have 5 minutes, and I'm going to make those 5 minutes the best 5 minutes of my life, so that they want me to come back. I guess that's how I feel about this. So I think having Kim put together a schedule, and maybe she plots it every half hour, every hour, I'm going to trust Kim's judgment on that. But fill up the day, and if it's 5 minutes or if it's an hour, she takes advantage of the time she has to meet these people and to try and start things on the right foot.
Adam?
Yeah, let's go to Lance and then I'll do Brent. Lance?
I think it's important she meets people too, but I think when you're hiring somebody with that level of experience, that she ought to have the input into who she wants to meet as quickly as she wants to meet them. A single attendance at a drug court meeting will introduce her to most of the players she's going to interact with on a daily basis. And then if there's a point in time where she doesn't feel she has adequately had that opportunity, maybe that's where the committee at that point provides some direction and guidance. I agree it's important she meets with them, but I still think it would be more important to do it in the order she wants and the way she wants to do it. Thanks, Adam.
All right, Brett, and then I'll go to Bill.
Well, I think Lance and I are kind of on the same page. So I was going to say, how far do we want to get in the weeds, like someone said, to plan this person's, their whole first month out, or what? I don't know. I think maybe even if Bill wanted to buy pizza for everybody, you know, we could have a nice pizza lunch and people could stop by and visit too.
Yeah, I would suggest a different, company though, something so we have variety.
Plato's maybe?
Yeah, you know, that's the first thing I thought of was Toledo.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like a copy of the minutes.
Absolutely, noted.
Bill,
That was off the record.
One of the first things I think that Kim ought to do, on this issue is get a hold of Judge, Potter and see when the next criminal justice task force meets. And they meet on a quarterly basis, and I think that's real important, and I think that's a good start for the person. And of course, the drug court is too, but you know, the criminal justice task force does meet, and I think they met the last quarter one time here, but that's an important thing. I don't know what you think of it, Kim, but.
All right, I'm gonna go to the sheriff and then we can go to Kim.
Call me Sean if you want.
Sean.
I'm okay with that. You know, and then I'll draw out the drug court, I was just basing that, but I think that would be, she developed the drug court in Sauk County, we've had that, and I think that's gonna be probably, in my opinion, one of the first things that you should kind of gravitate to. Ryan's up there, it's established, we have staffing on Monday, hopefully she can make it. The 26th, I'm assuming is a Monday?
Yep.
Hopefully that can be worked where she can come and observe staffing. She should be familiar with that, because it's not much different from place to place. And then she'll get that first opportunity to meet Ryan, meet the players, all the stakeholders on drug court, and kind of start to build up those relationships. She'll get to talk to Judge Wolf that day. I'm sure Judge Wolf will take an opportunity to speak with her if she has time. But I think that's kind of where we should start. She's got experience with drug court. And then, I don't know when that next meeting is, Bill. Is there anybody? They only meet quarterly, right?
Yeah, they meet quarterly, but they usually, and that's why I say you gotta get with Judge Potter, because he's the
So-
one that calls the meeting.
I'm gonna bring this back. We actually have a motion on the floor to direct Kim to make a schedule. And yet, since then, I've been hearing a lot of conversation that makes me think some people are against that. So we either need to amend the motion or vote on it and see if it passes. So what is the wish of the committee?
I'll call for a vote.
All right, so there's a call for the question. All those in favor of the motion to direct Kim, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no?
No.
All right. So motion passes to direct Kim to put a schedule together. Kim, just based on conversation, I don't think you have to necessarily get too deep in the weeds, but putting together a simple schedule to try and make introductions sounds like would
Are
be.
you guys just gonna send this woman by herself just to go meet these people?
Kim, you want to answer that? What have we done in the past with Al?
With Al, I mean, he had the deputy finance director with him at all the introductory meetings. So, and they were scheduled within the finance department. So I think as long as I provide a scheduled room for the meetings and I try to get them in a relatively close, proximity to each other, maybe it's, 1 day or 2 half days in her first week. It's not going to be overly, I don't think it'll take a lot of time. There'll be 30-minute meetings or optional. Obviously, if someone doesn't want to meet with her, I won't schedule them. So I think it'll probably be a couple of half days at best.
Probably don't schedule a meeting with the child support directors. Interested in the meetings, so.
I mean, I think we're, I would think our HR director's got other things to do as well, rather than dealing with all of this, but.
All right. Well, the motion has passed, so Kim, I'm gonna, and the committee can correct me if they're wrong, but the motion has passed, so I would say the ball is in your court, and we need to trust your judgment to make this as beneficial as possible. So Does that work?
That works. One question for clarification, though. The topic came up of having her attend drug court. I believe drug court is every Monday, and I think that's at noon. So if we schedule this committee to meet on her first day, is there going to be a conflict? Will she be done by 1 o'clock with drug court?
The staffing will be done, right?
She'll be done with the staffing part of it. It would give her an
Yeah,
opportunity to
staff
meet people.
12 to 1, and then drug court itself with Judge Wolf goes from like 1 to varies to 30. It really depends on the docket. So I mean, it's her first day. I mean, you could wait a week if you wanted, but I think it would be most valuable to see her go through staffing, and then go through the court process, and that'll be, a good chunk of the afternoon. We could meet after that, and like I said, it's usually done by 2:30.
All right. So Sean said, and Lance, you agree with this? 12 to 1 is the staffing. Drug court would be at 1 o'clock, 2:30 at the latest. Does that sound right, Lance?
Yes, it does. And the only part that's probably important that day is the staffing, where she'd have the opportunity to meet everybody, put a face with the name, and then she can set up meetings from there.
Yeah. I guess my thought would be, Kim, have her attend the staffing, and then at 1 o'clock, 1:30, we could schedule this meeting. So at the very least, she meets the staff, or she participates in the staffing. We meet with her, and then the following Monday, it's her choice at that point. I'm assuming she'd want to sit through drug court at that point.
Okay, that works. Thanks.
Anything else we need to discuss on onboarding, Kim? I mean, do we have a computer? We have everything she needs as far as office space, obviously, everything like that?
I did connect with IT. The computer and other equipment has been ordered. She couldn't give me an estimation on when it would arrive, but she did not think it would be a problem to be here by that October 26th start date. So from all indications, we're fine on equipment. And all of her signed paperwork is back. Her drug screening is scheduled for tomorrow. So we're set.
All right. Any questions for Kim? Anything, Kim, we need to discuss further on onboarding?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
So what is her probation period, or is that in this?
Kim, when is her probation period?
Introductory period is 6 months.
Okay.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second to that? That's really the only other thing, was to set the date of the next meeting, but I don't think we need to set a date right now. Essentially, the next meeting could be the meeting where we meet with our candidate. So, unless there's any other business that we need to discuss.
So we're looking at 1:30 on Monday, October 26th.
1:30.
Is that what?
Yeah, Kim, we will meet 1:30 on October 26th.
Okay.
That would give her enough time for staffing. Is there anything else? I thought I saw Brent. Did you want to say anything, Brent? I thought I saw something
no.
to the mask.
No, I mean,
You was seconding Brad's motion.
nobody would second a motion I made anyway, so I'm not gonna bother.
All right.
Why am I?
All right, then we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, that might have been the shortest meeting of this committee. Thank you, guys.
Aye.